Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. We appreciate it. Here we are together again on the radio. And I'm looking at a story here from a website called AskMen.com. Dean is shaking his head. Dean is convinced that whoever does this website is a listener who steals all his material from the Tom Leykis show. That's what Dean is convinced, but what are you going to do? Anyway, a story from AskMen.com. This story written by someone who is called the Women's Sexuality Correspondent. Where is she corresponding from? Women's Sexuality? Women's Sexuality Correspondent. All right, here is the story. It goes like this. Why? Why would a single or even attached woman chase after a married man when she knows that he is attached to another woman? Easy. It starts off because, as is the human condition, the food on someone else's plate always looks and sometimes tastes better than what you ordered. According to a study conducted by the University of Louisville, or as they like to say down there, Louisville, many women tend to engage in something the study referred to as mate copying. In other words, such women tend to believe that if another woman is either after a man or with a man, there must be something he possesses that's worthy of pursuit. It happens all the time. When I'm out with male friends, whether it be at a club or restaurant, the instant women think I'm with them, they begin flirting with said gentlemen like piranhas. Maybe it's because they assume that if a good-looking woman is with such a man, they need to prove that they're just as hot as her. Isn't the correct grammar just as hot as she? What the hell, it's the web. Spelling, grammar, who cares? This piece continues. Maybe it's because these women love a challenge, drama, no strings, or simply the thrill of sin. Whatever the case, many a woman has revealed that sex with attached men is usually incredible. Why? Because he's been eating chicken every day. And when these women give them a piece of their action, it's like feeding him duck à l'orange. Something exotic. Melanie, 28, who enjoys a high position in a big corporation, admits that she had an affair with a married man who worked in her office. She said, the sex was awesome because we had to be careful all the time. So when I would end up holding onto a cabinet in the office supplies room while he penetrated me with quick thrust during lunchtime, it would excite me like no other sex I've ever had. She admits it was tons of fun until the relationship started moving from lust to emotion. I began behaving like a possessive child, and that's when I knew it was time to let go. But Melanie continued, I knew many women who not only enjoyed lusty relationships with married men, they would take risks that I thought were simply immoral. You thought were simply immoral? You up against the office supply cabinet? You? Okay. What did she think was immoral? This woman who opted to bed a married man with 3 little children, no less? Well, her list ranged from having sex in the married couple's bed to engaging in unprotected sex. Anna, 37, revealed, John used to tell me about all the crazy things he and his wife used to do before they got married and dropped babies. So after hearing about all the adventurous sex they had, it made me want to show him what I was made of. I wanted to give him that element of sexual excitement. We did it anywhere, anytime, until one of his wife's friends saw us and told the wife. Unfortunately, this only made me want him more. I guess my competitive streak took me over and I wanted to win. Not him necessarily. I just wanted to win. Haven't you ever watched Eliminate? Do you really think the women are vying for the man? Nevertheless, John was clearly addicted to the sex that Anna bestowed on him. What with her willingness to take it in any orifice, in any office too, probably, and pleasure him in any way he requested. But she soon realized that even if her vagina had a little blue cape with an S attached to it, she could never win this race. All the same, she admits, I still talk about the sex that he and I had. It still gives me chills when I think about it. Some women believe that married men have more sexual experience, as most are older, and because they've been making love to the same woman for quite a while, they have an adequate working knowledge of the female form. I've been dating attached men for about 10 years, says business owner Sylvia, 39. They are the only men I date. I know it sounds terrible, but since I never planned to marry, I'm not worried about bad karma. It started out by accident, she said. The man I was dating forgot to mention that he was married. I found out 4 months later by accident because he forgot to remove his wedding band one day. I didn't leave him. And anyway, he treated me like a princess, more so after I found out. When I asked if she loved that first married guy, Sylvia said, "Love? Yeah, sure, for the moment. But he made me realize that I can never trust a man." Can you trust a woman? You reading this story? Huh? So I'd rather know that he has a wife at home rather than worry if he's going to cheat. By the way, I love that attitude with women who have affairs with married men. They're okay with the guy having sex with their wife. But if they have sex with anyone else, they're cheating. I love that attitude. He was with somebody else. His wife? No, somebody else. You're kidding me. And as well, Sylvia said, I can come and go as I please, and he has absolutely no right to get jealous or possessive, and the second he tries to pull that crap, I walk. Of course, she'll get jealous or possessive if he bangs anybody else. As for the sex, she continues, it's wonderful. These guys are usually deprived or bored with their women. There's that word again, bored. And I'm that exciting, ego-boosting element that they're looking for. And because they've harbored so many fantasies about sex that either their women wouldn't comply with, or they would never want to do with her out of respect or fear, I provide that fantasy component that they want so badly. Why would I ever give that up? After I come, they go. No rings, no strings. I'm cool with that. More like downright cold, if you ask me, says the author of this piece. For some, however, sleeping with a married man isn't so great once he opts to leave his wife and start anew with the mistress. Kim, 28, a real estate broker, says, when I first met Matthew, sparks flew. We just couldn't keep our hands off of each other. But we mistakenly thought we were in love and decided that we wanted to make our relationship permanent. So he left his wife. Little did either of us realize that the fantasy would fizzle the moment mundane elements of everyday life reared their ugly heads, she admits. Suddenly, Matthew didn't seem as thrilling to be around, and he stopped treating her like the object of his every desire. Sex with a married man has remained just that, just sex, she said. Once we began a relationship, I became jealous. After all, he cheated on his last woman, so I couldn't enjoy sleeping with him the way I used to. Needless to say, he ended up cheating on me with a sexy brunette in his office. You had it coming to you. So women call men pigs, the story continues, and say that all men cheat. But it's not as though these men are sleeping with other men. That's a different article altogether. When any woman knowingly sleeps with a married man, even though I fully believe it's the married party's responsibility to remain faithful, it makes women just as swiny as their male counterparts. And don't even get me started on the amount of married women who spread themselves about. Nevertheless, we can understand why the sex can be so great for and with attached men. But I believe that for every man who would cheat on his woman with a vixen, there is a man out there who is content with the woman he's committed to. My advice? If you want to have an affair, meet your wife at a bar and act like strangers, then go to a seedy motel and get nasty while you ask for her name. That's the advice from the women's sexuality correspondent for AskMen.com. Well, it's one thing to take this person's word on these anonymous people she has interviewed for this article. That's another thing altogether to talk to people who've been there or who are there. There are women listening to me right now who prefer to have sex with married men than to have sex with single, available, eligible guys. I happen to believe these women are self-destructive, have low self-esteem, do not believe they deserve permanent relationships with guys. And this is how they take it out on the world. They take it out on the women who can get attractive, eligible guys by having sex with their husbands. They do. And I'm willing to bet there are many of you women out there listening to me right now. Are you a woman who prefers to have sex with married men? Call me and tell me about it. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. All right, I want to talk to women who prefer sex with married men. Maybe you only date married men. Do tell. Natisha, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Natisha.
Oh, it's Letitia. I'm sorry.
Oh, Letitia.
Yeah, Leticia.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Well, I was listening to your radio show. I hadn't listened to your radio show in about 2 years, ever since I got fired, because I used to listen to your show when I would come home from work.
Uh-huh.
And it was really interesting because I happened to just be with married men. And I used to think that it was because I would just go out looking for married men. No, I'm sorry. I used to think that it would be like because, that would just be like my, I guess, it just happened to be that way, But now, I see single men try to meet me or they try to, hook up with me. And it's like, no, I don't know why. It's the fantasy of knowing, that they're having sex with you and you're the one who knows you're the one who knows that they're cheating and their wife doesn't know. It's the whole sneaking around. It kind of makes it exciting,
But you realize if you keep doing this, you'll never get married. You'll never have your own man.
Well, yeah, but I've been married. I've been married.
So you're done with that.
And you know what? It's like this, I don't know, the letter you were reading a little while ago about the lady who said that, well, I don't believe in karma. Well, I'm not worried about karma because I don't plan on getting married, yada, yada, yada. Well, I do plan on getting married one day, you know what I mean? And yeah, the same thing might just end up happening to me. But I've been on the side.
And that's okay with you?
Yeah, I've been on the side. I've been the married wife. I've been the mistress,
So you would not mind if you got married and your husband decided to have sex with somebody else like you?
Actually, it's not that I wouldn't like not mind, but I would probably forgive him.
You would forgive him?
I would probably forgive him.
Really?
I'd probably cheat on him too.
Well, then why get married?
Just to have a companion, because when you're single, I'm like, right now I'm single, right? When you're single, it's like, yeah, you get a booty call once in a while. You get one here, you get one there.
Wait. Let's say it's me, okay? Let's say you meet me.
You, Tom?
Let's say, well, not me, literally. We're fantasizing for a second here, okay? Let's say you met me.
Okay.
Why would I want to marry you knowing you're going to screw around on me? Why would I marry you?
Well, it's not like I'm going to tell you, hey, you know what? This is the kind of person I am or whatever, And
you think I would be too stupid to figure it out?
No, I wouldn't think you're too stupid.
You're also telling me that, so what you're also telling me, what you're telling me is not only would you screw around, but you would lack the intimacy in a relationship to tell your husband, honestly, about who you are, or who you have been, or who you will be in the future. So, this is something I talked about on the air recently, without intimacy, why would you get married?
Well, it's not like I would deny it,
No, but you're hiding it.
See, I am not. First of all, I'm not even talking about getting married right now.
I am right now. Okay,
oh,
why?
Mr. Reiner comes along.
Why would you get married? For what?
Well,
and why would a man? Let's say it was me. Why would I want to marry you?
Because you love me and I'm beautiful.
and you know what? I could bang you if you're beautiful. I don't have to sign over half of my stuff.
Exactly. Then you know what? If you were to tell me, you know what? I don't want to marry you. If that's the kind of slut you are, I'd be like, well, all right, then don't marry me.
Right. So there you go. So why would a man want to marry you? What would his incentive be?
Well,
what would a man get out of that?
I do believe in people changing, I'm not saying I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life, but I just get a kick out of being with married men. I had this
Well, you shouldn't get married until you get that out of your system.
Well, you know what? When my husband left me, I went crying to a friend, and that same friend...
So what you're doing now is getting back at everybody because somebody screwed around with your husband?
No, nobody screwed around with my husband that I know of.
That you know of?
That I know of.
Why did he leave you?
Because he was wanted by the police. And he had to leave the country.
For what?
For child abuse.
Child abuse.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with another woman.
I see. And you picked this guy?
Oh, no, it's not just, what do you mean I picked this guy?
You picked him.
Yeah, it was a mistake. It was a mistake, you know?
Uh-huh.
But, you know...
And let me understand, he had to leave the country, and so you went crying?
Yeah, I went
So your child abuser husband had to leave you, and you cried?
Yeah, because, you know, you're naive, stupid. I thought I loved him. Poor me, playing the martyr part, you know?
Uh-huh.
And now I'm glad he left, actually. Now I'm glad. But at the time, you know, you're still in love, and I'm so stupid and in love, thinking, oh, you know, this guy left me. I went crying to a friend. You know, that same friend told me, oh, my husband would never leave me. Oh, my husband would never. You know what? 2 years ago, I her husband. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use the F word. 2 years ago, I banged her husband. And you know what was going through my mind? Oh, sure, honey, your husband would never. Let me tell you.
Wait, this is your friend's husband?
Huh?
This is your friend's husband?
Yes. I slept with my friend's husband, with my cousin's husband, and they found out. Yeah, we never talked again before.
What kind of friend are you?
Not a good friend. You know?
You're not a friend at all.
No, probably not.
I mean, you are one of the most dishonest, and proud of it, one of the most dishonest people I've ever heard.
Well, I like having sex, and I don't ever do a thing like a wife.
Aren't there other people in the world, and your friends and your relatives' husbands?
Well, there was an attraction, you know?
I don't care. There are certain things you just don't do.
Why should I care?
This is your friend.
She was not a good friend. She was just like an acquaintance, just like somebody, you know?
I don't care.
It doesn't matter what you tell me, Tom. I don't regret it, and I'll do it again.
I know that. I know you will.
I'll do it again. I just banged a married guy today at his lunch hour, just today.
You did?
Yeah. I used to work with him, and I went over there today because he called me. He wanted to take me out for lunch, so I know what that means. That's a Nuna right there, you know. So I'm like, okay, you know. He met me at the Momo, and we did our damn thing.
Yeah, you met him for lunch, and you ate. Right. That's about all I can handle here, Letitia. Thank you.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. All right. Are you a woman who prefers having sex with married men? It's Corey on a cell phone. Corey, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Corey.
I love your show. I've been listening to you for the last couple of months. I've been waiting for you to have a topic on like this.
Here we are.
Well, this is the situation I'm in. Unlike the last caller, I had sex with a married man who happened to be my boss. And at first, I did it because I thought I was going to have problems with my job, and I was kind of felt threatened that I might lose my job if I didn't. And it turned out, and then we kept seeing each other for about a year, and we fell in love with each other, and then his wife found out, and they're going to counseling, getting help, and we're trying to cool things off a little bit. Ever since that happened, we're not having sex, but I love him, and I want to be with him, but he's married, and it sucks. It really sucks. And my question for you is, do you think that I'm doing the right thing by not having sex with him? Because if I have sex with him, he'll never leave his wife because he's always going to have me on the side. That my chances are better if I stop having sex.
He's never going to leave his wife for you anyway.
No matter what I do, sex or no sex.
Right.
Well, that's what I wanted to hear. I thought, well, maybe if I'm not having sex with him, he'll get frustrated and leave her or something.
He doesn't love you.
Okay, tell me more.
He is giving you what you want, telling you he loves you in exchange for getting sex with you.
Well, I mean, he's been pretty honest the whole time. He said he wasn't going to leave her, and then he thought that he might. And I mean, I think he does love me, but I think.
Why do you think that?
Well, I just feel it from him. I mean, we've had some pretty emotional conversations. We both ended up in tears. I mean, yeah, it could be guilt, but I don't think so. I think he does care for me, but I think he's stuck in a situation because.
But how did he get into the situation?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking myself. It was the stupidest thing I ever did.
I mean, put it this way. Let's say he loved his wife in the beginning, okay? When you started. He loved his wife, right?
Right.
All right. So then he started having sex with you. And then he tells you he loves you. Well, he also loved his wife, and look how much he loved her.
True.
Or he really does love his wife, in which case, or at least he really thinks he loves his wife, and he's not going to leave her. You lose either way.
Yeah.
So, if you either have sex with him and enjoy it for what it is, in which case a lot of people are going to say what a creep you are, or you just stop and go on get a man of your own. I'm convinced most women who do this either have low self-esteem or don't think they can get a man on their own.
Yeah. No, I'm starting to date, and I want to find somebody, and the woman before, how she loves having sex, you know what? It's awful. I don't think anybody who really is in a relationship with a man who's married, who loves them, is ever happy.
Well, why'd you do it?
Well, in the beginning, like I said, it was there's a lot involved, and again, he's my boss. He's a lot older.
Were you happy in the beginning?
Well, in the beginning, I thought, okay, it's just going to be about sex, and I'm going to transfer. It's not going to matter, but I didn't, and then we started having feelings towards each other, and I was happy, and I thought that he was going to leave his wife, so I just thought in my head, which was really strange.
I hear these stories all the time on the radio. I hear them out of the studio. Let me tell you something. He doesn't love you. He is not going to leave his wife for you. And by the way, he doesn't love his wife either.
Yeah,
he's playing you both. And he's playing you both. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
And it's lame. This is somebody who wants everything.
Yeah.
Here's the part I don't understand. When people are effing around, and then they don't want the person at home to find out, but they don't want to leave and be with the other person. They want everything. They want, in this case, this guy wants you, and he wants his wife both.
Right.
And he wants to keep it going for as long as he can.
Right.
That's how it is. And I'm telling you this as somebody who has effed around. I know. Trust me. He doesn't love you. And he doesn't love his wife either.
Well, I don't understand why why do guys do that? Why can't guys just leave if they want to F around?
There's a million reasons. You know how much divorce costs? How many kids does he have?
Well, he has one, but they're over 18, so it doesn't really matter. They don't have any kids together, and they both have really good jobs. So I don't.
Well, you know how much divorce costs? How long have they been married?
8 years.
You know how much that costs? Especially if she finds out you've been effing him?
How much?
Yeah, where is this, California?
Yeah, well, what if she makes the same as him? I mean, it's community property. It's 50-50, right?
Trust me when I tell you, chicks get the upper hand in divorce in California, in Washington, and lots of other states.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. On top of that, he doesn't want to leave because it's comfortable. You know what? It's pretty goddamn comfortable.
Well, that's what he told me, too, because he was going to counseling. He said, I was ready to give up on my marriage, but now that, I'm working at it, I'm seeing the results, it's a lot easier than if I were to start all over again.
Well, there you go. Now you've added a new element. He says he's working on his marriage, and it's getting better.
Right.
Well, what else do you need to know? The thing is, he's letting you know he's not leaving his wife. He's actually letting you know.
He is.
Right. So you are trying to manipulate him by refusing to have sex with him.
Well, no, I don't want to get...
Why do you want a guy like that?
I don't know. There must be something wrong with me. I'm sure there is.
Because you have very low self-esteem. And because you don't think you can hold a man on your own.
Could be true.
That's what it is. I mean, dear, you're in Los Angeles. You telling me there aren't any single men here?
No, there are. Do you think I should transfer out of the department if I can?
That's another thing. You know what I say about people having sex at work.
Huh.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Hurts your career. Do you care about your career?
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. It was so stupid. Trust me, this is not going to happen again. This is terrible.
Well, the thing is, why don't you stop it now?
Oh, I did. We're not sleeping together.
I don't mean it. Stop taking his calls. Stop discussing it. Stop crying on his shoulder. Stop trying to convince him to leave his wife. By the way, you say it's over. It's not over. You've stopped having sex with him to see if he will leave his wife. But you're waiting to see.
Yeah, you're right.
Why do you want a guy like that?
You're right. I can do a lot better.
Well, I don't know if you can or you can't, but if you don't believe you can, you won't.
Right.
Hang on a second here, Corey. Jewel, what do you want to say to Corey here?
How old is Corey?
27.
27. You can tell by her nervous laugh that she's not believing you.
No, I am. Everything that he's saying, I think myself. It's just, it feels better having somebody else tell me because then it reinforces what I'm thinking.
Well, I come from a different perspective, but I was married, and the last thing I was afraid of was that this person would cheat on me. It was the last thing I thought he would do, and he was cheating on me with a friend, a close friend. And
Not a good friend.
you were right, somebody I thought was a good friend, but he wouldn't admit it. He wasn't. He would have stayed doing it had he not gotten caught. They want everything they can get. Why would he leave his wife if you're there giving him sex extra? It's just extra. And he'll take it if you give it.
Did you have any idea that he was cheating on you before you found out?
No, zero.
You
Suspected zero.
How did you find out?
Through a friend of a friend, and I found out months after the fact. Months after. We'd already separated for other reasons, I thought. But I'm telling you, he will not leave his wife. And you're staying...
Hey, wait a minute. Let's correct that, because I've been this guy. He will not leave his wife for you, Corey.
True.
He will leave his wife when it's convenient.
And when he's probably
when he's
got
ready.
three others lined up. Right.
He'll leave his wife when he's good and ready.
Right.
Yeah.
And withholding sex from him is just playing a game, and you don't want to do that.
It just means he's going to get it somewhere else.
Exactly.
Take it from me.
Yeah, but I couldn't. I get too emotional, I guess. You know, when I have sex with him, then I start having feelings like I'm in love with him and I'm trying to get over him. I think the sex thing would just be too hard
But
right now.
I don't even know why you're talking about that. Why do you care if this guy is ever with you? He is dishonest.
It's exactly like you said, Tom. It's not thinking she deserves more than that.
He
He doesn't
is
think she
never
deserves-
going to leave his wife for you. When he leaves his wife, it's going to be at the time he's ready because he feels like it.
Right.
He will revolt against you. And if you don't give him sex, listen carefully. He will get it from someone else.
Yeah, you're right.
It's true.
And then he'll tell her he loves her. He'll tell her he loves her too. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It's true. Love you, Tom.
Thank you, Jewel.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Corey. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Beth on a cell phone. Beth, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, I just wanted to call and say I've been on both sides of this coin, and anyone who is sleeping with a married man and thinks that they're going to get him, they're not going to, and why would they want him? That would be my question.
Well, many times they don't. If you recall from this piece that I read from this website, many times the extramarital relationship falls apart once the marriage ends.
Well, I guess from my perspective, when I was single, I actually really liked...
And you know what ends up happening? Which, actually, if you think about it, it's kind of just desserts. Think about this for a second. So the person who wrecked somebody's home or the person who screwed around on their spouse ends up leaving... if they ever leave the spouse, they end up losing the mistress or the lover, and then they also lost their marriage. They end up all by themselves.
The man, you mean?
Men or women.
The cheater.
The cheater.
Yes.
The cheater leaves her husband or his wife for the lover on the side. The lover might or might not be married or be with somebody else themselves. Then when the two get together and they don't have to run around hiding in hotels and hiding out in their car or wherever they go, suddenly they don't know what to do with each other and they end up splitting up.
Well, when I was sleeping with married men, I wouldn't have wanted the guy if he left his wife. The whole point was to have someone that had other obligations because I was not looking for a relationship. I was looking for sex.
Uh-huh. And you didn't think you could successfully maintain a relationship.
No, I was perfectly happy to have sex.
You know what? I don't believe that when anyone says that to me. I believe they.
Why? That is what you teach all your guys. Why can a
no, I don't.
that rule?
You know, you've not been listening. I do not teach guys to get married and have affairs.
No,
I teach guys to get as much sex as they can get before they get married. Do you understand the difference?
Yeah, that's
what you did. I do not teach guys to do.
That's exactly what I did. I got as much sex as
But I don't teach guys to do it.
Married.
I don't teach guys to do it with their best friends' wives or other men's wives. I don't teach them to do that. You're wrong. I don't.
You told them not to do that.
Yes.
It's one of your rules.
Not a rule of morality. It's a pragmatic rule. You don't step on your buddies. You don't step on your relatives. You don't step on people who might come at you with a gun or a knife or come and put sugar in your gas tank or slash your tires. No.
I'm not saying with people that you know. I'm saying in general. There's a lot of general public that
I don't tell men to go have affairs with married women.
No, but you also don't tell men to collect information when they're in the bar and they just want to screw. So,
if a guy has sex with a woman and does not know she's married, then it's not the same thing. And now you're grasping at straws here. What you did is not what I tell men to do.
Well, I'm just saying that out of all the
you looked for married men and had sex with married men because you were not capable of a relationship.
No, I didn't say I looked for married men. I said those were the easiest to have during that time period.
And that's what you had.
There was no chance. No, I had sex with people who were married and were not married. But the point is that the ones that were the easiest because they weren't turning around and looking for.
Are you married now?
I am. That's why I said it. Both sides of the coin.
I see.
Now I have a different perspective.
Oh, you do. And how would you feel if your husband did to you what you did with all these married men?
I would say karma.
Oh, there you go. So he's got a free pass, essentially.
I hope that he doesn't do it, but if he does, then I have to live with that.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I would not hold it.
Does he know about your past?
Yes, he does.
And he doesn't. He's not the least bit concerned about that, huh?
About me doing something?
No, about your past.
No.
He's a fool.
No.
I'd be concerned about that.
Why would you be concerned?
I'd be concerned because you are an immoral person.
How am I immoral?
Having sex with other women's husbands?
It's not my choice if their husband is out having sex.
It is your choice to have sex with a married man or not. You chose to tell him to stick it in.
Yeah.
That was your choice.
Yeah.
You are an immoral person.
Well, I guess I am.
Well, if that's the thing, I would not marry a woman like you. I'd marry a woman who slept with 500 single guys. I wouldn't care. But a woman like you, I wouldn't. I'd have my concerns if your best friend was like that. Or your best 5 friends were like that. Or your best 20 friends were like that. I'd have concerns. Even if it wasn't you.
Why am I responsible for the married person making a choice? Just like
you made a choice. Who cares what their choice is? You made a choice.
Now, I'm married, and my choice is not to sleep with other people. That's my choice.
Yeah, right now. Until it's convenient to do something else, then you'll do that too.
No. That's my choice.
Yeah, right.
I take full responsibility
Immoral slut. That's what you are.